Now from SRV Studios, Mr. Craig Thatcher.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Schuylkill River Valley and Sidetrack Sunday #1 for March 2022. I thought for tonight I would get back to work on the Drawbridge Diorama that I was working on a few months ago. That's where I put the toilet paper river down. But before we get to that, let's see who's here. We got a bunch of people in. Let's see. I know we had some people in here real early. Let's see. Brian from the DNRGW Iron Horse route was in, and so was Lynn McCurdy. Lynn was in the middle of the Sea of Cortez, I believe, he said. So let's see who we got here. Adam Cruz is in. Good to see you, Adam. Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider. Great to see you, Anthony. And Vinny, BNSF 6951. Thanks for coming in, cuz. Dave Knight from Carolina Foothills Railroad. Good to see you. Dave P. from DES Media Productions. And Dave BNSF N-Scale. Bunch of Daves in a row there. Connie, Dragon Lover 68's here. So is Dwight Curley. Chris from Go Veer Go Home. Grandpa Rails, JD, good to see you. Heath is here, although he's getting up pretty early, so he's probably not going to stick around very long. And Uncle Wilmer's here. Great to see you, Wilmer. Joe Rader from the Black Rock Central's here. So is Kyle Stevens, Manshed Railroad. Sorry, Manshed. So is Greg from Midsummer Railway N-Scale. Mr. Jimbo's here, and John number 7 from Mystic Southern Railroad. Great to see you, John. Nathan DeLay's in. Good to see you, Nathan. So is Bill from New Fenris Railroad. Ray Boble's here. That's the third one of our Sidetrack Sunday crew. Robert Darby's here. Good to see you, sir. Ron Moen's in. Good to see you, Ron. And Roy Eltham's here. Santa Fe Bob, great to see you. Let's see, we got Sean McGee. Steve Childers is here. So is They Make It Like That. Thomas Grassy's here. Pappy from Try Goggling. And T4 from Tiny Town Trains TV. And last on the list here is Stephen from Wigwag Workshop. Let's see if anybody popped in since I went through that list. It looks like I got her. Jason the Train Freak's here. That makes 4. And I did see Rick Bailey's here, so that looks like all of the Sidetrack Sundays here. Rusty from Possum Bio's here. Good to see you, Rusty. Norman Rowe is here. Let's see, who else? I think I said hi to JD. Dwight Curley, I believe I said hi to you. Al Mars here. Good to see you, Al. Let's see. Chris from Go Veer Go Home. He was in early also. Let's see. Who else did I miss here? Mr. Jimbo Trains. Good to see you, Mr. Jimbo. Thomas Grassy. I'm not sure if I said hello to you or not. Let's see if I got Greg from Midsummer Railway N-Scale. Yes, I know I said hello to him. Let's see who else here. Chasco's in. Good to see you, Chasco. And I think I got everybody. If I missed you, just smack me on the back of the head. I certainly appreciate everybody being here. Let's see here. I think that's everybody. And the schedule's still going. Oh, there's Bob from PK&W Model Works. Good to see you, Bob. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see, what else do we have here? I think that's everybody. All right, so like I said, a couple months ago, I started working on the river for my Drawbridge Diorama. That was the toilet paper river that I've been putting down. Excuse me. So since you've last seen it, I added a few more layers of, a few more layers of the Mod Podge, just to give it a little bit more depth. Yeah, a little bit more depth to the water. Let's see. Nathan, I haven't been working on it. I've been just so busy at work. I haven't had a chance. Roy, Container Man, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in, sir. Let's see. So I did put a couple more layers of the Mod Podge on the river, give it a little bit more depth, and I've also added a few details. Tonight I want to finish putting in the ripples and some waves from a boat. Okay, the schedule's done. Good, so we can get back here. So I wanted to get some of the details that need to get bedded into the river in there, so that I can work on it tonight. So I got a lot I want to do with it tonight. So let's get started. But my overhead camera still is not working. Edward from Happy Valley Hobbies, good to see you. So if you folks will give me just a few seconds here, let me rearrange my desk and move my camera around, and I will be back in just a minute. Nathan, yes, I did get your email, and I answered you today. So I hope you got mine. Jerry, good to see you, Jerry. All right, folks, so chat amongst yourselves here, and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. While I was gone, I noticed Cameron from Caboose 121 stopped in, and I saw somebody else's name pop up here. Timothy Kynard, appreciate you stopping in. Let's see. I think I got everything. Oh, there's Thomas from Split Rock. Good to see you, Thomas. All right, so I do apologize about the view here. It's not the best, but it's the best we can do at the moment. So since you folks have last seen this, I added a few marker buoys here for the boat ramp, a couple marker buoys here for the little shoal that sticks out here. We've got a fish here coming out of the water. There's going to be a scene with a fisherman standing here on the shoal, so I figured he needed a fish to pull out of the water. Here is a bigger marker buoy with a sign on the top that says no wake. Before I'm done here, I will turn around and show you that. And we've got a small boat here that I carved out of balsa wood. Oh, thank you, Nathan. I appreciate that. Now let me get some supplies here. Okay, so I'm going to start tonight with putting some waves in from our little speedboat here. Speedboat's not finished. I don't have a driver in the boat yet, and a few more details that are going to get added. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that, Roy. So I'm going to start with the waves from the boat here. The boat, as you can see, that yeah, Heath, around the house I never wear shoes. Dwayne's Fork and Spoon, good to see you, Dwayne. Let's see, Fred. This is an HO scale diorama. I have a drawbridge here that was an old beat up polo drawbridge that I breathed some new life into and decided to build a diorama around it. Dan's Model Railroad Journey, good to see you. And Bernard C., good to see you, sir. Okay, let's see. All right, so what I'm using for the waves here is a product called Lexel. It's very similar to silicone, but it's not silicone. What do they call it here? Tough elastic sealant is what they call it. It's not silicone. It dries perfectly clear, unlike, hey, Steve, 87th PSAP, made it back. Good to see you. This stuff dries perfectly clear, and it is paintable. Sean, this is HO scale. Anthony from Georgia Sunbelt, good to see you, sir. This stuff, I used this Lexel on the N-scale river, and I was real happy with it. It worked out really well. So we're going to start here. Let me I'll start here with some of the waves here. Get it. See if I can get this stuff to come out here. Yeah, Sean, I guess it is a little tough to tell all the way up there in Canada. Especially with this lousy camera angle I'm feeding you guys. Let's see. Excuse me one second. My Lexel doesn't seem to want to come out. All right, there we go. John, what's my opinion about, let me see here. What's my opinion about British trains? Do you like them a lot or not so much? Some of them I like. Nathan, it's kind of strange. The most of their steam locos I really don't care for. They just look way too different than ours. But some of the diesels are pretty nice. I do like them. Thank you, Bob. If you don't have the guts, why not? I mean, you got to have the guts in life, right? Let's see. Absolutely, Edward. That's one of the best things about dioramas. This is it's called Lexel. It's actually more similar to silicone than it is to Mod Podge, but it's not quite. I'm not sure what it's made out of. I'm not really sure what it's made out of, but it works a lot like silicone. But like I said, it dries perfectly clear. Mr. Jimbo, all I put on this was several layers of Mod Podge. And that's what I used, the gloss Mod Podge, so I got a real nice sheen to it. Ron Bright's good to see you. Let's see, something else. Somebody else said something here. Okay. Interesting you say that, Bob. Yes, there is some depth to it. I can definitely see it. But it's not quite as much depth as you get from pouring the river. The N-scale river that I poured has a lot more depth, and that's only about 1/4 of an inch thick. So this isn't bad. I'm not dissatisfied with it, but it's not quite as deep as I would have wanted. So now let's get some of this this Lexel stuff on here. Like I said, it's very similar to silicone. It's a little bit easier to work with, I think. And hopefully, as you'll see here, if you can even see this, I don't know how well this is showing up for you, but it will hold its shape pretty well. As it dries, it will settle down a bit, but not too much. And one thing about this is it is paintable, unlike most silicone, at least pure silicone, which is what I was looking for, because I'll be able to put some white on the top of it to represent the foam from the waves. So, like I mentioned, the marker bow here does have a no wake sign on top of it, which obviously our boat operator here doesn't seem to want to follow. So that's why the buoy's kind of falling over here a bit, being pushed over by the wake from the boat. So this stuff, like I said, it holds its shape pretty well. I used this for the rapids on the N-scale River, and they came out really nice. I was real happy with them. Well, Anthony, I have absolutely no idea what you just said. Let's see, Chris. I love working with water. It adds so much to the layout. I just love it. Wilmer, it has an odor. It's not bad. It's not a silicone. It's not a silicone smell. It doesn't give you that vinegar odor. And the odor doesn't really permeate the room like silicone does. Like, I can smell it sitting here right on top of it, but as this dries, I won't be able to smell it around the room or throughout the house, which is another thing that I really like about it. It has, I guess, similar to a glue smell, but not strong, and really, I don't find it annoying at all. What's your opinion? Okay. Woodland Scenics makes a lot of really nice stuff, Nathan, but I'm a cheap SOB, and I will always find a cheaper alternative if I can. One of the problems with hobby manufacturers is because it's a hobby and it's expendable income, some of them feel that they have the right to overcharge us for it. So I prefer to use anything that I can try that, Mike. Sorry. Oh, yeah, there we go. And real artist, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. That's not focusing real clear, but maybe you can see it a little bit better. So I will have to tease this a few times while it's drying. It will settle somewhat, but generally holds its shape pretty well. And like I said, it does take paint. It takes paint really nicely. So after this dries, I'll be able to add some little white caps here to the waves. And let's see. Well, you know, Jason, I did hear that, but I didn't hear the cheap in front of it. And I'm not going to tell you who told me that. Let's see, seen some, but he added some alcohol to it and mixed it to make it spread easier and dried clear and gave it their deep look. That's interesting, Ron. I kind of like the fact that this isn't thin because, like I said, it holds its place really good. Thank you, Mark. Good to see you, Mark from M&M Rails. Steve Childs prefers the term frugal. I'll take that. Although frugal SOB somehow just doesn't sound quite as good as cheap SOB. And frankly, I've been called an SOB too many times, so. Hey, there's Artie. Good to see you, Artie. Oh, Ryan, they used it there as their water. Okay. That's interesting. This does thin with alcohol, so it's probably a very similar product. I made this water out of toilet paper and Mod Podge, but I actually prefer pouring resin. I get much better results with it. And Split Rock prefers the term thrifty. Okay, I'll take that. Let's see. YouTube channel, Budget Model Railway's YouTube channel, they tried to find the cheapest solution and make good points about the hobby. And they're in England. I hope that's helpful. That's interesting, Nathan. I'll have to look them up. So, all right, so Joyce doesn't say you're cheap, but does she say you're an SOB? And if not Joyce, then I'm sure your students do. Now let's get some more of this. Absolutely, Robert. That's my thought as well. The way I look at it, for every $5 or $10 I can save on materials like this, that means 10 or 20 that I can spend on trains. This stuff is kind of sticky, so kind of a pain in the neck when you accidentally touch it. Let me come back and find that. That was good. My life's tracks. My mom called me an SOB once, then she realized the irony. Yeah, my mom had a few names for me, but SOB wasn't one of them. Let's see. John 2618, good to see you, John. All right, I think that's probably going to do it for my waves here. Maybe just a little bit more. That's a good point, Nathan. So far, I've just been calling it the Drawbridge Diorama, but that actually is a really good idea. I should name it and make a sign to put on the drawbridge. Ray, your railroad definitely fits the budget criteria. What is it? Reuse, recycle, repurpose, or something like that, and you're one of the best at it. Good one, Stephen. All right. I think I need just a bit more up here against the let's see, against the river side here. Probably a little bit more here. Yes, that's true. Jason reused most of his lumber when he tore down his layout. That's a good comeback, Artie. I never thought of that one. All right. So once I stop fiddling with this, I'm going to switch over to an acrylic medium and add some ripples around. The river has quite a few ripples on it, and I don't really need to add all that much. But I do like to add some because it adds a good bit of depth. Just want to have it splashing up here against the side of the river here. Let's see. Sounds good, Adam. Looking forward to see it. Do some videos. All right. Just a little bit more. Oh, there's Tim from CP368 Productions. Good to see you, Tim. Whip it good, Devo? I think I missed something there, Edward. Maybe I'm glad I did. So I'll just continue to tease this up a little bit. Let's see. Heath's leaving. Good night, Heath. I know Heath, he's getting up at some insane hour of the morning. Actually, a time that I would rather be going to bed than getting up. So, appreciate you stopping in, Heath. As far as going back to Nathan's question about woodland scenics, I've used forget what it's called, one of the water effects. Daniel Banks, welcome, good to see you. I used I forget what it's called. Whether it's I think it's their Waves product, and I was less happy with that than I am with this. This I find it a whole lot easier to make the waves and for them to keep their shape rather than the Woodland Scenics product. Could have been me, but I've been very, very pleased with this so far. Let's see. The piers simply removed, railroad or highway bridges, or abandoned row. Actually, there is a drawbridge that goes to it. This is only part of it, but the drawbridge will be sitting roughly there. And I will have tracks, and this will be set up as probably a photo diorama, something like that. Thank you, JD. I appreciate it. Let's see, Jason. On my first layout, I used Envirotex. It was the original Envirotex, not the Envirotex Lite. I did like that. It was extremely smelly, but that was in my basement, so it didn't really matter so much. For the N-scale layout, I used a pourable resin that I got from Amazon. That was probably about half the price of Envirotex Lite. And I'm really thrilled with the way that came out. In fact, I like that better than the Envirotex I used. And that's a real good point, Thomas. And seal up the edges because it will find any cracks and make yourself all the way down to the floor if you let it. All right, let me... So anyhow, this is the... it's a little zoomed in here. This is the drawbridge. It was an old Polo kit. You've probably seen it. It had the big crank wheel over here and wasn't terribly prototypical. And it had been pre-built. And it was old, and lots of the glue joints were failing, and lots of the supports here were cracked. So I kind of put it back together again, fixed up. I had to putty the edges here a lot because that had started to peel apart and warp. So that's where I am for this right now. I do have a scratch-built control building that goes right here, and like I said, I will be laying track and turning it into a real scene. Thank you. They make it like that. It was pretty sad looking when I got it, but I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. Nathan, do I have any other hobbies besides trains? And another YouTube channel about comedy and Star Trek. Oh, that's interesting, Nathan. My only other hobby really is I play a little bit of guitar, not much. It's been a while since I've had one in my hand, actually, and I won't say I'm very good, but Craig Thatcher, my opening act, was my guitar teacher. Making a mess. Okay. All right, so that should be pretty good for the for the waves. Lance, Weber Model Railroader. Good to see you, Lance. Let's see. So now I'm going to add some of the ripples. I want to get some ripples mostly around Thomas, you didn't see my opening act? It was, I always start my live streams with something because of, sorry, I was reading something. I always start my live streams with a selection from my good friend Craig Thatcher. He's a professional musician. He's a guitarist, singer, songwriter, and he's one of my favorite musicians. So I always pick one of his songs and start the show off with that. Actually, Jason, the fact that it uses letters kind of drives me nuts. I'm much more comfortable with numbers than I am letters. And yes, Bob, it was almost 70 here today. Kind of warm for early March, but I will take it. Thank you, Roy. I absolutely love Craig's work. Hopefully I can get this thing open tonight. Give me a second here. I guess I didn't wipe the lip off all that well. Nathan, I would love to do that. It would probably take me a couple years of practice to get good enough. And since Craig is generous enough to allow me to use his music, I can't turn that down. But maybe someday. Wow. Hopefully we'll be able to go a little further tonight. That is, if I didn't ruin this this jar of acrylic medium. Tim says it was 67 up there today, and now it's 40. Yeah, it was high 60s. It was at least 68 here, and tomorrow's supposed to be in the 70s. But then, of course, it'll be right back into the 40s the day after that. So this is just a little tease we usually get towards the end of winter. Man. Wow. That is my strong arm, Chris. Hate to admit that because obviously it's not quite strong enough. High today, Roy says the high today in San Diego was 62. Yeah, Dave, I do need a bigger hammer. Hammers have always been my favorite tool. You can make anything work with a hammer. Norman, I have a pipe wrench that was my grandfather's. He was a pipe fitter for Allenwood Steel Company, and the pipe wrench stands about 4 feet tall. So I'm really sure that would open it. And John K, yes, I do have a nice pair of good channel neck pliers, but they're out in my car right now. So, let's see if I'm trying to just loosen it up here. Yeah, I already bring it over, man. Wow, Bernard's got snow on the ground and more coming down. 26 degrees, wow. Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea, Sean. Strap wrench and a bench foot. Time for a blowtorch. There we go. Except the plastic bottle would probably melt. I guess I should have opened this up beforehand, huh? Let's see. Nathan, I think the Pavi is definitely getting more expensive, and I even thought that way before the recent price increases in everything. And Chris got some freezing rain. Well, you are a little bit further north than I am, Chris, so I'm not surprised. And you're right, Wilmer. You got to count on problems like this doing a live stream. And yep, Roy, all kinds of suggestions. I got all kinds. Blame Heath. There we go. It's all Heath's fault. Shame this didn't happen before he left, huh? And get the EMTs on standby. I'm not Heath, Norman. We're not gonna see any blood here. Yeah, Bob, you're right. Well, folks, I think get the blowtorch. Yeah, Roy, but the bottle's plastic, man. I'll melt the bottle. Maybe I'll try that. I don't think so, though, Nathan. Nah, that's not turning at all. Well, folks, I am sorry. I really planned on getting much further on this tonight. I really don't feel like running out to the car to get my... How are you? 911 doesn't work in Australia, huh? Okay, I'll be careful then. Let's see, you think you need bowling commentators over John's bottle open, huh? Okay. Running under hot water. You know what? I think I'll give that a shot. Because I would like to get a little further tonight. Yeah, it might have been a valiant effort, Norman, but a loss is still a loss. Yeah, that's a good thought, John. I don't have a big enough rubber band. Oh, my life's tracks. That's a thought. I'll be right back, folks. Let me put this up here and let me try running some water on this. Hang on. Well, actually, I think Mike Rell Artist has the answer there, and that is to buy another bottle. The stuff isn't expensive. I don't remember what I paid for it. No price on here. It's just a super heavy gel gloss medium from Artist Loft. And I used this on the N-scale layout, and that worked really well. You know what? Roy has a point. Roy has a point. Let me put you guys on hold here for 1 second. I'm going to run down and get a saw and cut this open. All right, I'm back. Actually, if I was actually angry, Norman, I wouldn't have gone for the saw. I would have gone for the hammer. But Roy's suggestion definitely was a good one. Now, I never thought of that, Thomas, but that would have been funny. All right, so what I'm going to do here is just slather some of this on. Let's see here. This stuff works really well. It's got it's pretty thick. And it does hold its shape much better than Mod Podge. Not as good as the Lexel that I used here. Slather, I think that's a word. Unless I just made it up or made it up earlier in my life, because I've used it for years. CA would have worked to make sure it didn't come open. Carolina Foothills, yeah. They're going to be delivering a new bottle, that's for sure. Actually, no, I got this at Michael's, I believe. I got a good bit left. I should try and find another bottle to put it in. Still faster than a Heath box opening. Yeah, you're right, Stephen. This stuff dries clear too, so it's not going to mess up my my river here. And like I said, I'm really looking to add some ripples and to build up some splashes here along the buoys, the marker buoys, and where the fish comes out of the water. Use a mason jar. Yeah, that's a good idea. That would certainly work better than this plastic jarless. Norman, I probably do. Probably have to wash it out, but Yeah, that's what I ended up doing because I have a good bit of this left, and like I said, I'm a cheap SOB. I hate to throw it away. Yeah, Mike, that's usually what my mail calls are bills. Nobody sends me checks for some reason. Yeah, that's hopefully the idea, Roy. I thought I was being conscientious and cleaning off the threads of this bottle when I used it, but apparently I didn't do a good job. It did take Heath longer to get a train to run a full circle on his modular leg. 3 hours. Yep, you're right. But I don't have trains running yet, so I'm not going to pick on Heath for that one. Normally I do like the product. It's like I said, it's just a super heavy gel acrylic medium. And it does a nice job of holding its shape, much better than Mod Podge does. Yes, John, I do cut open toothpaste tubes. I learned that one from my mother. She used to have oh yeah, Stephen, I won't forget. She had a clip that she would roll up the toothpaste in to squeeze every bit of it out. I don't go quite that far, and then cut the tube open. Anthony, this is let me see if I can get it on here. Super Gloss Heavy Gel, and it's from Artist Loft. It was pretty cheap. I got it at, I think it was Michael's. I don't think it was Hobby Lobby. And I don't remember what I paid. Probably about $5 or $6 for this bottle. Let's see. No, actually, I saved all the label, Thomas. One thing I do like about this better than Mod Podge is it doesn't set up quite as fast. So you can slather a bunch more on before I go back and shape it. Oh, for CA, actually I use hypodermic needles. So I pull the CA out with the needle and use that to apply it. When I was building my first layout, my father was a two needle a day diabetic, so I had plenty of hypodermic needles to work with. Let's see. Now, getting back to Wilmer's question, this stuff really doesn't have any odor at all. It's just an acrylic. Nolan, yeah, that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to end up finding a jar. I'm sure I have a jar downstairs someplace. And I'll put it in there. Stephen, Artist Loft is not Michael's store brand. It's I believe it's a nationwide brand. They make all sorts of acrylic paints and mediums and other related supplies. I have several tubes of Artist Loft paint downstairs. They're a little bit higher quality than the or actually a good bit higher quality than like the apple barrel and stuff like that you get from Walmart. It's a much thicker paint. It's not real watery like the apple barrel is, and it's more made for artists, I would assume. Sparky 107, good to see you, and thank you, Sparky. When I originally scheduled this live stream, I scheduled it for 8:55 instead of 7:55. I guess I shouldn't have done that before I had breakfast. And thankfully, Sparky noticed and texted me. So I appreciate that, Sparky. Glad you were paying attention, because I certainly wasn't. Let's see. So, it's Tardy Sparky, huh? Yeah, that's right, Thomas. He missed an epic battle. John, behind the boat. Yep, you're right. Thank you, Pappy. I did miss a spot. But I'm going to be going back and shaping this. Let's say Mike Railroad says, being an artist, he got all sorts of paints in his studio and he uses them all in his model railroading aspects. Oh, I'm sure you do, Mike, and I'm sure you're much better with them than I am. Let's see. Once I get this slathered on here, I'll go back and reshape it. That's, like I said, that's one of the things I like about this. I wouldn't be able to cover this whole thing with Mod Podge and then go back and shape it, because stuff I put down first would be setting up already. This stuff being thicker lasts a good long time. Okay. Edward, if you're talking about CA, I've gotten those little bottles too and absolutely hated them. They're pretty much a one-use bottle, at least in my experience. But then, I guess after the night, this stuff was almost a one-use bottle. All right. That's that. Let's set this over here. What time? We're getting pretty late here, I'm sure. Okay, 9 o'clock. All right, now I'm just going to sort of push this and shape it in the direction that the river would be running. It is acrylic, and I certainly could have mixed it. I thought about that, but I wanted the depth from this as well, and I was afraid that mixing the paint in would kill that. This is pretty clear. I mean, this is pretty clear, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the color below the surface of the water, just to add some depth. And how long until the contents of the half jar goes off? You know what? That's a really good point, Artie. I have a bag right here. That should help. Yes, Norman, using a fan brush to create the ripples to push them in the direction I want them to go. Push them up against my whatever they're called, marker buoys. Well, I can't say much about Woolagong Harbor, Artie, but hopefully this will tone down a whole lot as it dries. It dries clear, and it'll leave the ripples, but it won't look quite as rough as this. Actually, I will be adding white paint, Roy, to the waves that I put on with that Lexel, but I probably won't be for the ripples. This is supposed to be a river, not, and it's obviously not a very big river, so I don't want to have a lot of white caps floating down my river. Thomas, I think that every time I hear the name of an Australian city, I have no idea where they come up with them. Let's see. Hey, I'd be happy to Sparky. I could definitely use a holiday, but it's going to be about a month and a half before I can take any time off. And thank you, by the way. I do enjoy the water, making the water. I think water just adds so much to a layout. Personally, I think certain things a model layout absolutely has to have, and that is a bridge, at least one tunnel, and a nice water feature. The area that I'm modeling has all of those things, and even if it didn't, my version certainly would. You can't wait a month you can wait a month and a half. Okay. That'll get us actually closing in on Strasbourg time. But really, Sparky, water's easy. I mean, it's when I did my first layout, I procrastinated for quite a while because I frankly was just afraid of doing the water. I was afraid of messing up my beautiful layout, and really that was the first time I did it, and I used the original Envirotex, and I was real happy with it. But the stuff that I used, okay, let's see. The river won't be so bad to make. It's the waterfall from the top level to the lake at the lower level that will be difficult. I don't know, Thomas. Maybe a challenge. I don't know about difficult. let's see, where's that big rock? Actually, it's kind of up here, and they don't really hit it with their boat, but they do dive off of it to go swimming. And let's see, that pretty much almost finishes the river. The only thing left to do, Mike, our railroad usually puts off his procrastination until later. Bob, have a good night. Enjoy your coffee and dessert with your wife. And thank you, sir. Appreciate you being here. Yes, Kathy does a good job with waterfalls. From my N-scale layout, when I did that, I got quite a few questions and comments on it. So I plan on doing a demo on how I did that river. It'll be similar to this, but set up better so you'll be able to see it a whole lot easier. And I'm planning for that river to have a waterfall and some rapids. And that I'm planning on doing pretty soon. I have to get some more of the resin, but that's not a big deal. That's 2 days away with Amazon. So, all right. I want to come over here. Jason, take care. I appreciate you being here. Have a good night, man. All right. Okay, that's going to just about finish up the river for this. The only thing left to do, and I can't do that until this dries. Well, I mean, I could, but it'll mess things up. Is to add some water lines along the edges of the river. Something I learned from Bob Ross when I was watching him and painting along with him, and I like the effect. So I'll probably be doing that on my next sidetrack Sunday. So let me put you folks on hold one more time while I clean this mess up here and put my camera back. Well, T4, thanks. I appreciate you being here, and thank you, Norman. I appreciate you. Yeah, I will definitely be bringing the diorama back once this dries up, and I can do the water lines. After that, I still have to finish detailing that boat. I just quickly carved that out of balsa wood last night, and I didn't get any boat operator in there. I didn't get the girl in the bikini riding alongside of him, and I have a few more details, and then I have to. Then I'll get to finishing detailing the rest of the diorama and get the the Drawbridge put on. Happy little mistakes, absolutely. That's a Bob Ross line. Let's see. So let's see. What time is it? Well, it's 10 after 9. That wasn't bad. Don't forget, next week is Heath from Humanity Junction at 8 p.m. next Sunday. I have no idea what Heath is doing, but it'll probably be a lot longer than this was. And I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. And I'm trying to keep it at least, this diorama, at least PG. There are some young people in my life that not quite ready for the bare naked ladies. Well, they might be, but I'm not ready for them to see it on my layout. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. Dave Piper, good to see you, and good night. There's Randall Ellison. Hey, that's all right, man. I appreciate you stopping in. You're right, Thomas the Jar learned his lesson tonight. Thank you, JD. Let's see the vote. Well, this boat's under power, Artie, so there will be a guy driving it. I mean, he isn't at the moment, but he will be there. Good night, Ray. Good to see you. Thank you, Adam. Good night, Edward. Let's see. Thank you, David. Carolina Foothills. Thank you, Norman. Good night, Rusty. It was great to see you. And thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody being here, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. This stuff won't be. It'll take a couple hours to dry. Probably about 3. It's a little bit thicker than the Mod Podge. But my next show, I'll have it back, and everybody get a chance to see it. Thank you, Roy. I appreciate that. And Dave P., thank you. Thank you, Bernard. I appreciate you being here. Sean, thank you. Chris, thank you. Oh, Adam's going to have a video up next weekend of some decal work. Looking forward to see it, Adam. Lance, good night. Appreciate you being here. You were late, Sparky. No other way of putting it, Sparky. You were late. That's all there is to it. Thanks, Lance. Pappy, appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Everybody have a great night. Don't forget, how not to close your lids. There we go. That's definitely what the takeaway message from the night show was. Don't forget, Tom's on tomorrow at 8, and this week's On Track Tuesday should be Redbird Tony. Hopefully, Tony's feeling well enough, and we'll get to see him. Yeah, Rusty Sparky was early or late. And yes, he showed up, so that's good. No shame intended, Sparky. I'll be late for your next live stream, and we'll be even. They make it like that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate everybody being here. I had fun tonight. Thank you, Wilmer. I had fun tonight in spite of the surgery I needed to perform on that jar. And take care, all. Have a great week ahead of you. I know I've got a really busy one, but I'm sure I'll see you in the stream somewhere. So have a good night, all, and thank you so much.